Yes, that's exactly who Henry is. He looked at Dorian Gray and thought the young man was indeed extraordinarily beautiful. His lips were bright red, his features delicate, his blue eyes clear, and he had a head of golden curls. There was a trustworthiness in his brow that drew you in immediately. His youthful sincerity and pure passion were unmistakable. You could feel that he hadn't yet been tainted by the world. No wonder Basil Hallward adored him so much. One could say that meeting Lord Henry marked both the beginning of Dorian Gray's growth and his downfall. Henry's words were witty and captivating. He often made statements that brainwashed people, though they concealed poisonous intentions. Henry guided Dorian Gray, leading the young man to indulge in pleasures and ultimately abandon his true nature, selling his soul in the process. Some of Henry's words sounded brilliant, such as, "The purpose of life is self-development. To realize one's nature perfectly, that is what each of us is here for. And live the noble life within you. Miss nothing. Continually search for new sensations. Be afraid of nothing." These words sound fine, but what really happened? Let's read a passage from the book. Henry said, "Mr. Gray, this is of utmost importance to you." Why? "Because you possess incredibly beautiful youth, and youth is worth cherishing." "I don't feel it, Lord Henry." "You don't feel it now. But once you've grown old and ugly, your skin sagging, your thoughts etched into wrinkles on your forehead, the flames of desire scorching your lips, then you'll feel it intensely. Wherever you go now, people are captivated by you. But can this last forever? You have an astonishingly beautiful face, Mr. Gray. Don't frown. It's true. Beauty is a form of genius. Indeed, it is higher than genius because it needs no explanation. Beauty is one of the great facts of the world, like sunlight or springtime or the reflection of the moon in dark waters. It cannot be questioned. It has divine rights of sovereignty. Who possesses it holds a crown. You're smiling. When you've lost your beauty, Mr. Gray, you won't smile. You are favored by the gods. But what the gods give, they quickly take away. Make the most of your youth. Don't waste your precious time listening to dull sermons, trying to save what's doomed to fail, or spending your life on things that are ignorant, boring, and vulgar. These are the sick goals of our age, false ideas. Live. Let the exquisite flower of your life bloom. Don't miss anything. Keep exploring new sensations. Be afraid of nothing. I think it would be tragic if you wasted yourself. Remember, your youth will last for a very short time. The common mountain flowers will bloom again. The golden laburnum will be as bright next June as it is now. In a month, the clematis will be covered with purple stars, and its leaves will be like green night skies year after year. But our youth, once it's gone forever. The joyful pulse that beats in us at 20 will slow down, our limbs will lose their suppleness, and our senses will dull. We'll degenerate into grotesque puppets, spending our days remembering the desires we were too afraid to indulge and the strange temptations we didn't dare succumb to. Youth, youth, nothing in the world is as valuable as youth. Mr. Henry delivered a long, provocative speech, but his actions were full of danger. Because youth is fleeting, he recklessly pursued sensory pleasures and encouraged Dorian Gray to do the same. Behind these glittering words was his unrestrained pursuit of pleasure, a constant search for thrills that quickly led to boredom. It was an unhinged life, free from any moral or conscientious restraint, tinged with madness. Yet these words immediately struck a chord in Dorian Gray's heart. The young man, his beautiful youth, stood before the easel, admiring his own appearance, and the future that Lord Henry described vividly flashed across his mind. Yes, one day his face would wrinkle and wither, His eyes would dim and fade, and his body would bend and deform. The bright red would fade from his lips, and the golden luster would vanish from his hair. Life, which should have shaped his soul, would instead ravage his body. He would become an ugly, ungraceful wretch. The thought of this sent a sharp pain through Dorian Gray's chest, stabbing every nerve. His eyes darkened into amethyst, and tears welled up. It felt as though a cold hand had pressed down on his heart. It's so tragic. I will grow old and ugly, but this portrait will stay forever young. It will never be a day older than this June afternoon. Oh, if only it could be the other way around. If I could remain young and let the portrait grow old, I'd give anything. Yes, I'd pay any price. I would give my soul for eternal youth. This is the wish Dorian Gray made. Does this scene seem familiar to anyone? Doesn't it remind you of another great work, Faust? Faust made a deal with the devil and signed a contract. But Dorian's contract is actually much simpler. It's more like Peter Pan's wish. It's not the fear of aging from an old man, but rather the fear of a child who doesn't want to grow up. The amazing thing is that this wish came true. To maintain his outward beauty, Dorian Gray was willing to sacrifice everything, even trading his soul. Afterward, he committed all kinds of sins. The portrait became the mirror that concealed his secrets and soul. The portrait bore the weight of Dorian Gray's sins and corruption, growing old and ugly, while in reality, Dorian remained forever beautiful and pure. And so Lord Henry encouraged Dorian Gray to fall, to sin, to do as he pleased. He said, "This is one of the great secrets of life. Nowadays, most people die of a sort of creeping common sense and discover, when it is too late, that the only thing one never regrets are one's mistakes." Lord Henry's words opened up a new world for Dorian Gray. The young man's mind was filled with wild desires. He yearned to explore, to rediscover himself, to see life in a new way, to seek out the beauty he had once overlooked. The first thing Dorian Gray encountered was love. The girl was named Sibyl Vane, an actress around 16 or 17 years old. She had been taught from a young age, "You should think of nothing but your acting." And indeed, Sibyl thought of nothing else. On stage, she became Juliet, Ophelia, or Desdemona. Dorian Gray went to see her perform and quickly fell madly in love with Sibyl, soon becoming engaged to her. Why did he like this girl? Because he saw her lose herself in her performances, becoming one with her characters. Sibyl was the leading lady in every Shakespearean love story. Dorian Gray said to Henry, "Henry, I love her. She is my life. Night after night I go to see her perform. I've watched her play characters from different eras, wearing all kinds of costumes. Ordinary women don't stir our imagination. They can't break free from the confines of their time. No magic can transform them. Their hearts are as easy to read as their hats, ready to be understood at any moment. None of them has any mystery. But an actress is completely different. Henry, why didn't you tell me that the only thing worth loving in this world is an actress?" Did you notice, did Dorian Gray love Sibyl? No. Did he love life? No. He loved an actress, the theatrical inspiration.